While it may seem to be perfectly understandable that because we're using a model, we can view this in 3D, it's not just the viewing element. We can create views, we can create different 3D views and place them in our documentation. This can help reduce ambiguity in your documentation. It can help people who are maybe not as technically savvy to understand the complexities of a building services drawing. In this exercise, we're going to use that same sample MEP project from the Common folder. There's yet another way to open that file. From the Application button, here I've got a list of my recent documents. And from that list, I can pin the most important ones. So I can come back and they will stay in this list. So let's open the Sample MEP project. Firstly, let's take a look at the default 3D view. Although I can see the default 3D view here in the project browser, I can in fact access it from the Quick Access toolbar without needing to find it in the project browser. Click on the default 3D view and it opens it. You can see that once it's opened, the view is actually highlighted in the project browser. I can use the same zoom tools to navigate around this model by using my wheel. Use the navigation wheel for zoom, pan, and orbit. I can also use the view cube. The view cube, if I click and drag, I can still orbit the model. If I hold my shift key down and then press the middle mouse wheel, I can orbit. Or I can click on one of the faces of the view cube and it will orient the model to that direction. In this example, you can see that if I drag and orbit this model, it maybe doesn't behave in a way that I'd really want it to. So what I can do is select an object in the model and then do the orbit. The orbit now pivots around the objects that I have selected, and it makes navigation a lot easier. Now, let's assume that from my documentation, I have my level 3 lighting plan. I have a section, which is section 1, and neither of them are really showing me the right level of detail that I want to see. I can place these both on a sheet, and they don't quite tell me the full story. So what can I do about this? Let's go back to the default 3D view. Wouldn't it be great if I could section this model down so it showed the same type of detail as section 1? I can do this. If I right-click on the view cube, I can orient the view to another view, whether that's a floor plan, an elevation, or a section. And in this case, I'm going to go with section 1. This spins the model around and crops it, so I end up with a model that's cropped using this object called a section box. The section box can be dragged using the grips to extend the view. This can then be hidden, the scale changed, and the orientation of this view locked. We need to give this a name, lighting detail, and I can now document this view in exactly the same way as any plan, section or elevation. We will be looking at this process in more detail later on.